Don in London. Hello. July 25th. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol. My behaviour, equally addictive around people, places and things. So attitude, substance, behaviour addictions along the way. So alcohol, now in recovery, recovering alcoholic, one day at a time. And also behaviour, people, places and things. No longer trying to be perfect with the right people, in the right places, doing the right things and having the right things. Life has become more a progress, if you like, on a daily basis. So I can be with the right people, be in the right place, and be doing the right things, and having the right things. So in essence, my life has changed radically from somebody who thought he knew it all and had to know it all, had to strive to be perfect, and these days it's simply about making progress, one day at a time. So what helped me along the way? Well, family, friends, community, professionals, and especially my sister, kept me alive long enough, and I have to say that, kept me alive long enough to have a moment of clarity, which was simply, life, I feel, will get no worse. And I keep on waking up even though I don't want to, which is a tragic place to be. Some people call it the jumping off point. Either you jump off the world and end it, or you jump into something which is going to help you. And whatever it is, it's your journey. What helped me more than anything, though, was finding, or the fellowship of AA finding me. That's Alcoholics Anonymous. I speak a lot about it on these videos because it helps me on a daily basis to keep sober one day at a time. It's where I get my wisdom from. But I don't represent AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, I never can. Because every person in there speaks, in fellowship, speaks for themselves where they choose to. And it's a personal choice, how we share our experience, strength and hope of recovery. So daily videos, all about recovery. July for me is all about how to keep on learning, how to keep on having courage, faith and confidence to keep on going when life gets tough. And that's based on the 12-step program of the fellowship. 12 steps for an individual to find out how to be open, honest and willing to change on a daily basis as we are hit by the problems that everybody else has too. And we are no exception, and we're not special and different. I just think and feel we are probably unique and authentic in the moment of now, in our life experience and what we can do and what we cannot do. Even in recovery, life will not make us financially secure or offer romance as we might desire. And of course, as we get older, the opportunities become a little bit more scarce. And that's just life. Anyway, that's something I have to deal with on a daily basis, being older. How does AA help me? Well, I share the AA preamble on my videos. This is from this little card here, which is available in meetings of the fellowship. Fellowship meetings is where it all happens, the groups of AA. There is no guiding leadership at the very top. It's a sort of upside down organisation. Anybody close to the administration of the larger organisation are simply trusted servants. They don't tell us what to do. We decide at our meeting level what we need to do to keep our meetings safe. And I do believe anonymity is absolutely sacrosanct within the groups and meetings of AA, where we can find the truth of who we are without being, I suppose, exposed to ridicule, shame, guilt, all those things that we might be worried about. And as we go along, as the shame and guilt subsides and we've made our amends and restitution to those we may have hurt along the way, then we start to live an open, honest, willing life, being open to share who we are and what we do. The question of recovery remains a personal decision, always, whether you're out in the open about it with your friends and family and community or not. It's a personal choice. After all, that's what we're here for, to find out what our choices are on a daily basis, to be included or to be excluded in some way or other. So the AA preamble reads as this: Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. Loud motorbike. So AA is about sobriety, but everybody in AA has affiliations to outside interests and organisations and faiths. So whilst the fellowship remains focused on sobriety, you will hear everything to do with other people's lives, their experience, strength and hope of how it is to be sober, whatever walk of life they are in, or not. So the good news is you will hear things which are similar to your own experiences, and the good news is you'll hear things which are not similar to your life experiences. So we get a broader picture of how people keep sober, no matter where they are or where they come from, whatever their background is. We can connect on the sober level. So that's our common denominator, and that's what fellowship is all about. And it's not about religion, and it's not about anything else other than what serves you to remain sober, open, honest and willing, and to find out how to be happy a day at a time, or sad, as life is, a day at a time. This book, Daily Reflections, which is part of the literature of AA, provides, I suppose, a daily reflection. I'm just shutting something down because I don't want it to come up in the background, email noises. In this book, it covers the 12 steps and 12 traditions on a daily basis. You know, one little element of a particular step, the principles by which we can live well, yeah, and not in the insanity. And the 12 traditions, which is about unity, service and recovery within the fellowship. And the daily reflections in July are all about step 7, asking to have our shortcomings removed, either by God, or by good conscience, or by prayer and meditation, or by just an exhortation to the universe. Help me with my shortcomings. And the answer being, in my case, my shortcomings are lack of faith, lack of courage, lack of confidence. Faith in doing the next right thing, courage to do the next right thing, confidence to do the next right thing, through to others who have a faith in religion which backs up their understanding of life. So no matter what our experiences are, religious or not religious, or whether we're atheist, agnostic or believer, these steps work. So it's up to you to choose what your path is with your faith, courage and confidence. But step 7 is about asking on a daily basis to keep on being open to learning. The very basis being humility, that is, open to learning life as it happens today. So the AA Daily Reflections, written many, many years ago, is about those who still suffer for the 25th of July. For us, if we neglect those who are still sick, there is unremitting danger to our own lives and sanity. And that is to do with helping people who come into fellowship who are newcomers, just as I was once, a newcomer without a clue how to get to sober and start my life again. And for every person who gets to AA, there's probably 99 who don't. And for every person who gets to AA, quite a few don't continue, for whatever reason. AA is not everybody's cup of tea, for one thing, and there are other ways to get sober and keep sober. I just haven't found them yet. Maybe because I'm living sober. I know the torment of drinking compulsively to quiet my nerves and my fears. I also know the pain of white-knuckled sobriety, that is, not addressing my issues and just hanging on to life with a grim perseverance, rather than say, I need to let go and learn some more about living happy or sad, as the case may be. Today, I do not forget the unknown person who suffers quietly, withdrawn and hiding in the desperate relief of drinking, or in my case, oblivion. I ask my higher power to give me his guidance and the courage to be willing to be his instrument to carry within me compassion and unselfish actions. So in other words, I need to ask on a daily basis and remind myself to have compassion for those who are still unwell and those who are angry and resentful at life, that people are often doing the very best they can and it feels like the worst for us. Let the group continue to give me the strength to do with others what I cannot do alone. And often, in real life, we all get angry and resentful at times, and then we wonder what to do about it. And if we're angry and resentful, probably, in my case, I've set my expectations too high of my own behaviour, if I'm angering and making other people resentful, and I'm not listening to them and seeing what's going on. Or it's the other way around as well. People are making us angry and resentful. And what we learn in recovery is to learn how to say, I need to mind my own affairs and keep my side of the street clean. And in so doing, utilising the 12-step program to look at my behaviour rather than their behaviour. Because I can't change other people and their attitudes and behaviour particularly unless they're up for change. And if they're angry and resentful for some reason, they're not listening to me. They can't. They're too busy being angry. And that's the best they can be right now. So my thoughts today, I need to remind myself when I get angry and resentful, most likely my expectations of myself and others is too high. So I say to myself in the morning, set my expectations to 0 and then work on it, on my behaviour, and also be aware of where other people are coming from too. If my or others' behaviour seems to be the worst, it is always the best it can be in that moment. Forgiving, humility and learning offers progress and never perfection. So if I'm trying to be perfect, it's never going to happen. If I expect perfection from other people, it will not happen. If I am forgiving and keep on learning how to live with other people and take account of what they're saying, I can include myself or exclude myself from what is going on. And that's the freedom of choice I get today. Another one for today was about our principles. The 12 steps start to become second nature as we learn how to relate to others with a sober head. That's me being sober. From my insanity to sanity, sometimes quickly, often slowly. The steps work when we ask for help, and just for today. So I know I can go back into the insanity of old expectations and fears, putting on a brave face, and my ego covering up guilt and shame about maybe not knowing something. So if I have the humility to remain sane and learning, my progress is better, I suppose it's better able to cope, my sober living. I am able to cope more easily with the shocks and the anger and the resentment that can come from anything in life, the reminders of what it used to be like. But today it's very rare that I actually have those moments, and this is why I have to remind myself these steps are not about me judging other people. It's about me and my behaviour today, how I keep well, keep sane, and able to deal with life on life's terms, without resorting to trying to fix myself, fix other people, and find myself back in an old circular pattern. It's almost like, yes it is, the insanity of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. From another year, supporting each other. No matter how long sober, from a day to a decade, fellowship is about unity, service and recovery. We are all on the same page in this one day. We live in this one day and experience life as it is. Difficult or easy, with help, we keep sober. We are all responsible in this unique moment of now. And we are responsible for how we conduct ourselves. and ask ourselves, what is my best response in a situation like this, when it's tough and difficult and people are unhappy. It's not to join in the unhappiness, but say to myself, what can I do and what can't I do right now, and work it out. Respond rather than react. Sometimes we react because danger is there, but most often we can respond with a clear head, which maybe isn't present in other people. And one of the other thoughts, courage to change. 12 steps to live life with new attitudes and behaviour. Courage in adversity is not new to us. Faith that we can change takes time. And each new day offers fresh challenges. We are unique and authentic in recovery, each on our own path, learning who we are one day at a time. I do get carried away, don't I? The point of doing these videos is it helps me remind me that I have to consider how to make progress and not get stuck in the idea that I will ever be perfect, to keep on opening the door to new learning, that I don't get stuck in saying this is the way it is because that's what I've learned. And with spiritual being, spiritual and emotional well-being is what the program is there to do. Emotional and spiritual well-being. Knowing my feelings, the emotional side, in the moment of now, the spiritual connection. Living in reality is spiritual. So, if asked what is spiritual, many people see it as the ability to cope with now. What's going on now? It's the ability to cope. That's what spiritual is. It's learning the wisdom of life as it's happening. And we can never ever say it's over, because life changes, the world changes, people change, although we don't necessarily see it as such. And we are all changing too. So if we misunderstand life by saying, if I learn this, I'll be all right. If I pass this exam, it's all going to be okay. If I do this, that and the other, I will get the perfect job. If I do this, I'll have that career. Life isn't like that. Life is on life's terms, and it's a very difficult world right now. So we do the best that we can do. And in recovery, my life changed dramatically. I'd been burnt out, thrown on the scrap heap, and then thrown myself back on it many times over because I didn't know how to fit in and do something. So no matter how small it is, whatever our career, if it's just simply holding ourselves together and helping people find recovery, find a way forward, find how to live in this moment, then life is useful. For me, the most important elements in life seem to be how to love people, how to be loved back, and useful. And the usefulness is what we find we have a talent for, a skill for, or we learn about and can do. So to love, be loved and useful, and then with the steps, open, honest and willing to change, living in unity, service and recovery. These principles seem to work in all our affairs. They work in every aspect and every element of life. And sometimes we get tormented because we realise other people don't understand what they do, they don't understand how they are, they don't understand their prejudices and their lack of progress. But then, if we're unhelpful and not very careful, we are judging and exercising prejudice against them, which is why it's so important to have forgiveness for oneself, learning, making mistakes, and that other people are learning as best they can. And maybe not learning from their mistakes, but we are not there to put right other people. We are here to see how we can be included, love, be loved back, and useful. And if we can't be those things with some people, we need to walk on. Not try and challenge them, not try and change them, because if they can't change them, how can we? If we couldn't stop drinking on our own and could not ask for help, we could not change. So humility is key to all living, and it's not just about giving up the grog or a substance or an attitude or a behaviour. It's being open to reality, the true spiritual place in which we live, real life, right now. So we make progress, and we're not perfect, and some of us become used to making progress, but it's slow. Slow progress works because we learn, we stub our toes on experience, and something happens. We remind ourselves we need change to see how we fit with life. Anyway, enough. Step 7, all about shortcomings. If I ask for help on a daily basis, I'm more likely to go ask the person out there, in the street, in a supermarket, in a library, a sponsor, in a meeting, you name it. Humility to keep on learning comes from, and the learning comes from often the little old lady who lives along the way from me, who has many, many years more experience of life, and I love listening to what she has to say. That's how it works. Learning. Yep, the can-do, can't-do bit now. The serenity prayer, which is to God, good conscience, a power of your understanding, an exhortation, a prayer, a meditation. Whatever it is, the can-do, can't-do, wisdom to learn the difference. I can change my attitude and behaviour. I can't change others' attitudes and behaviour. And I keep on learning the wisdom around that, about what's going to happen next, and how may I fit in. So that serenity prayer to God or to good conscience as you come to understand for yourself. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, for me, in the moment, and just for today.